Hello, my name is Leanna, and today I want to talk to you about sewing, whether you are already a seamstress, whether you're thinking about learning to sew, or even if you're not planning to sew, and maybe just something about how you show up, how to make it better, how to improve your clothes, the ones that you already have. And so I hope this is useful for you. First of all, what is sewing? Sewing is taking a two-dimensional piece of material that is flat and turning it into a three-dimensional, something that we wear or something that covers our stuff. Exceptions, of course, if you're making curtains or tablecloth, then of course it stays a two-dimensional thing. But otherwise, by putting seams together, we are creating shapes and different kind of functions for the new material. Let's talk about the first thing. Materials. Material is the kind of fiber that we use and how it's built together and for what kind of functions we want to have them used. So there are different kinds of materials, there are different kind of fibers. I can't go over all of them, especially I don't think that I know all of them. In modern times there are so different mixes as well that it's kind of impossible. But the ones that I would want to focus on the categories are the natural fibers and the synthetic fibers. What does natural fibers mean? They come from nature, whether it's from plants, whether it's from animals, or so for example plants can be like linen or cotton, from animals can be silk or wool or leather, of course. And synthetic means human-made, so that basically means fibers that we created. And the other kind of separation that I like to do is whether the material is knitted or woven. So knitted is the simplest to explain. Think about a sweater that is knitted and now make it a lot smaller, a lot more compact, and you will have knitted material. And a good example is a t-shirt material. It has all-way stretch. So a t-shirt material, it stretches sideways, up and down, and on diagonal. This is important because we don't want to wear a t-shirt that restricts us and doesn't let us move for whatever reason we use it. Woven material, on the other hand, is basically has fibers going up and down and fibers going sideways, and they intersect between them. So think like a carpet, but a lot smaller and a lot more compact. A good example for this is this cotton material, and what happens usually, it doesn't have stretch sideways or up and down, but it will have stretch on diagonal. If we want to have a suit, for example, then we don't want to have stretch. We want it to be fitted and we want it to have structure and to keep its shape. And so that's why we would choose that kind of material. An exception, of course, is different mixes. When you have denim or cotton mixed with elastane, so you would have a little bit more of give, a little bit more of stretch, and it would still keep its shape, but it would not suffocate you. Yeah, if you remember, denim in the 80s and 90s used to hug you and not let go. So some kind of progress is welcome. So what does it mean to us? So of course, if we are buying a t-shirt, then yes, we want it to breathe. We want it to be made from natural materials, especially that they are a lot more sustainable. Yes, of course, they use water to create it, but it's biodegradable and it allows a lot more air to come through. If you think about synthetic fibers, then think about things that are made of plastic, and if you are wrapped around in plastic and you're doing sports, not so easy, not so comfortable. Exceptions, of course, are specific kind of training wear that is kind of very modern, that allow breathing or evaporate of sweat, easy breathable materials. That is an exception, but usually they are very high quality and they're very well made. Second thing is color theory. Color theory means basically to know what works for you, to understand what is your skin tone, figure out what kind of colors bring the best of you and what colors make you drained and without energy. How do we do that? One way to figure it out, what is your skin tone? So when you look in your veins, are they blue? If they blue and you are a little bit more pinkish, then you are a cool skin tone. Or if they're more kind of green yellowy, then you are a warm tone. If you don't see the difference, you can maybe be neutral, and maybe both work for you. Very good. So if you are not completely sure, the best way to do it is to take a piece of material to your face, to make sure you're blocking out the thing that you're wearing. Put it to your face and say, does it make me look fresh? Does it bring out my energy? Do I look alive? If yes, then this color suits you. If you put another material next to you and you kind of start to see like, maybe this one not so much, makes me look a little tired, then you figure out that this maybe doesn't work for you. This is by process of elimination, of course. You can try it in shops. The first thing that you do, of course, you touch on a garment, see if you like it, and then you put it to your face, look in the mirror and say like, yes, no, maybe. I had a friend that used to tell me like she can't wear a red lipstick, and when I looked, she was wearing kind of like a corally red, when she was very obvious like pinkish, cool skin tone. And basically I explained to her that if you are a warm tone, you want to stick to warm tone. So what does it mean? Any color has warm tones and cool variations of it. So if you take a yellow, then you can have a yellow that is closer to greenish. That would be a cool skin tone. Yeah, you mix it with blue, so it goes closer to greenish. If you mix it with orange or red, then it goes closer to orange. And so you can have the same kind of color, do the same. Same with red, right? Red lipstick. If you mix it with a little bit of blue, it goes a little bit to the cooler side. And if you mix it with orangey corally, then it goes to the warmer side. And of course there is the pigment color that is neutral, that can work both ways. And then it kind of depends with the rest of the things that you are wearing. So this is a really fun subject, right? A lot of times we find something and we go like, yes, that one, but then the color really doesn't do anything for us and the outfit just stays in the closet. Third point, sewing quality. What does it mean? In fast fashion, or when we want to produce as many clothes as possible and to send them to shops as quickly as possible, the seam size is going to be very big. That means the distance between the stitches is very big, and a lot of times when you pull even on the garment, you can see that the seams kind of come apart a little bit. If you look on more vintage clothes or couture, if you ever saw a piece of garment that was handmade, you will see that the distance between stitching is millimeter, sometimes even less, depends who made it, and it's in very high quality, so there is no chance that the seam is going to fall apart, and it's really made to last, right? Because in fast fashion, people want you to throw away the clothes after a few times and to go into the shop and buy again. Another thing is, of course, seam finishing, and that means if there is threads hanging out from your garment, then it wasn't made well. Because in good quality products, you will have a manager of product and they will say, no, this doesn't work, you have to finish it well. And they will not ship it like that. Another thing is lining. If the garment is a little see-through, for example, if you are buying a summer dress and it's see-through and it shows more than you wanted to originally, it should have a lining, right? So you don't want to go with a see-through dress that you have to wear another dress underneath in order not to go around naked, unless that's the look you're going for. Go for it. So lining should be there and should be made well, should fit you well, shouldn't scrunch underneath the dress, and possibly should be from a good material as well, because if the dress is cotton or linen and the lining is polyester, guess what? You're gonna sweat. And last point in sewing quality is pattern versus blank canvas. So for example, you can go into a shop and have the same dress, one is black or just solid color, and the other one is pattern, whether it's flowers or chevron and whatever. So the dress that has the solid color is gonna cost more. Why? Because you can see on it anything. So if anything goes wrong, you will see it. On the contrary, if you have a busy pattern on the outfit, and something went wrong, the seam is not completely right or something like that, or the dart moved, they're gonna just send it because you can hide it. It's not so. I'm wearing right now a pattern, and if there is something that moved, you wouldn't notice it so much unless you would sit there really close with glasses and have a look. Point number 4, and that's waste. So we want to reduce waste, of course, as much as possible. If you are throwing away, as I said before, a natural fiber outfit, it's going to be biodegradable eventually, and hopefully not leave such a big mark. But if you are throwing away synthetic garment, then it's gonna stay with us for a while. As you know, synthetic or plastic, or whether it's polyacryl or many other types of synthetic fibers, do not degrade so fast. They can stay with us to hundreds of years. If you don't want to throw away garments, so for example, you go into fast fashion place and you buy 5 t-shirts for, I don't know, 40 euros or something like that, which means that each t-shirt was less than 10 euros, then you will see that after a few washes the seams kind of start to shift diagonally. The reason is sometimes they are not cut well on the grain, or they are not very high quality material, the knitting itself, and so you will basically be throwing away 40 euros for nothing. Now, I'm not saying go and buy for hundreds of euros a designer t-shirt, because sometimes they are not a lot better, but what you do want is to make sure that the t-shirt that you're buying is going to stay with you for a while, because if you're already invested money into something, then why shouldn't it stay with you longer? If you say, yeah, I don't throw away my clothes, I donate them, well, if you donated, for example, something that doesn't fit you so well anymore, then great, and this outfit can be used or rebought by someone that really needs it and wants it. But if it's not suitable for wear anymore, it's just gonna end up in a landfill. Point number 5, customization and repair. So it basically means if you have an outfit that you really like, but suddenly a seam opened and you are too lazy to repair it, or you don't know how to do it, I'm sure there is a lot of seamstresses around or friends with sewing machines that can go over the seam really quickly and fix it. You don't have to be a professional in order to do simple repairs. There is endless amount of YouTube tutorials on how to repair clothes by hand with simple stitches that don't require too much knowledge or too many tools. A needle, a thread, and scissors are enough. So if you have that outfit and you want to save it, do it. Now, say you found something in a second-hand shop, something that you love, but it just needs a shortened hem, or it needs to be taken in just a little bit. Go ahead and buy it, because it's probably a unique piece of clothing, an article of clothing, and it will be made to fit for you. Now, a seamstress that in your neighborhood probably doesn't charge so much money as you think. Just go in and ask what would cost something like that, and just bring the outfit with you in order for them to see. Now, another thing you can do, of course, is dive into some creative sewing, and that means basically adjust your clothes to how you like it, whether you want to go rips into your t-shirts, or whether you want to make embroidery or anything that you want, or if you want to buy epaulets for your t-shirts to make them look fun, or whatever it is. If you see a piece of design that you like and you want to recreate it, go ahead and try it. Maybe try it first on something that you wouldn't mind throwing away or is on the way out, in order to just to practice, so that when you do it on the actual piece of garment that you want to keep, so that it will be a lot better and a lot more practiced. So I hope that was useful for you. This is just an introduction. I can dive into some materials if you are interested more, or if you have questions for me, please leave them down below. And I will see you in the next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!